Fan Zone presented by TiVo rolls on heading into Week 6 alongside Ian Eagle. I'm Jason Horowitz here in New York. Randy Cross with us in Atlanta. We are on CBSSports.com and on your TiVo DVR via TiVoCast. We're breaking down the AFC West, and you go from number 1 overall pick, a guy who doesn't play, who doesn't sign till the season starts, to being number 1 and top in the AFC West, and that is the Oakland Raiders. And Randy, you will be out west this week calling the Raiders and the Chargers, and it's for first place.
Go figure. I think that game last week really put the AFC West kind of on alert with the game that San Diego had at Denver, the way they manhandled the Broncos, that there's a chance that the real San Diego Chargers are back. You're going to find out give a real good idea about if that's true against the Raiders, because the Raiders, I think, have a very solid defense. They run the ball extremely well. That offensive line is no longer as maligned as it was. Robert Gallery, you can actually say, is playing well now that he's in there at left guard. They're going to have to throw the ball against the Chargers, and that'll give San Diego an opportunity to get some sacks and or pressure on the quarterback, two things that they haven't done very well this year.
You know, I thought San Diego has too much pride and too much talent to implode this year. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And although they got off to a very slow start, as we know, I think when the dust settles, the San Diego Chargers will still be a playoff team in the AFC and will be champions of the AFC West. With that said, Oakland has made up some ground, and I think you must acknowledge what Lane Kiffin has done in trying to change a culture, which was very tough to do. Anyone that has been around the Oakland Raiders in recent years, going out there, spending time in their facility, realized this was a beaten team, a beaten franchise. And for Kiffin to step in and make the adjustments that he's made defensively, they were good enough to be a playoff team last year. There are a lot of playoff teams that would have taken Oakland's defense over the one that they had in the postseason. Rob Ryan has done a terrific job. Offensively were really the main questions coming into this year, and they're doing it with guys that have been a part of it. It's not like it's a whole new team on offense. Dante Culpepper, of course, showing some signs of his Minnesota days. I don't know if he's going to be the guy for the rest of the year or not. That remains to be seen. But the early impressions, I'm impressed. I walk away impressed with what Kiffin's done.
And let's not forget, guys, that this week, I mean, they went out in the offseason and brought in Dominique Rhodes from Indianapolis, and with Lamont Jordan's injury before the bye week, now you've got Dominique Rhodes coming off that 4-game suspension. He's had the bye week to get ready. This is an offense that is going to run the football and run some more, but can they do it on San Diego? Because this is a team that can stop the run.
Well, I think their best chance to win Oakland is really to have San Diego cooperate, much like they did against Kansas City. I did that game a couple weeks ago also. And San Diego played a wonderful first half and then kind of went away. And that, in a lot of ways, this year, like you said, Ian, is sort of the AFC West in a nutshell. I think if you're going to have a strange winner of that division, it'll be because the San Diego Chargers mess up. And this game Sunday will be an Oakland win only if San Diego lets them win and kind of gives them the game.
Let's get into the Broncos a little bit, because they are, you talk about you thought that the Chargers were too good to implode. This Denver Broncos team has lost 3 straight games. They're coming off their worst home loss since the AFL-NFL merger. Jay Cutler at times this season has looked lost because, let's face it, he is just in his second year. Travis Henry, we have, at this point, we don't know how long it'll be till he's suspended, because all signs point to the fact that he will be suspended. So now your backfield will be Selvin Young, a rookie, and Jay Cutler. This Broncos team is in a lot of trouble, Ian.
Yeah, and I think the Jay Cutler point is one that has to be made. He is just a second-year quarterback, and teams have figured him out. Great quarterbacks in the NFL have gone through this, where they have that initial success, then defensive coordinators, they can game plan for you. And Cutler's finding out that teams are ready for him week in and week out. Denver's got 2 wins, Jason and Randy. And the first one, as you know, Randy, you were there, they probably had no right to win against Buffalo. This team easily could have just one win
or 0-5. They could also be 0-5 if Mike Shanahan doesn't call that timeout.
Good point.
And they lost Tom Nalen last week,
and
that's really going to hurt them. And how many evangelist plays can Jay Cutler have? I almost said Jake Plummer there. Scary, you could draw that parallel.
Jay Plummer
maybe that's why they're. Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing that you can't figure out with the Broncos is the fact that they have 2 shutdown corners. They have Dre Bly and they have Champ Bailey, and they cannot stop the run. That is something else you can't figure out. On the other side,
it's the other 9 guys.
Yeah, the other 9 guys are the problem. They don't have Al Wilson anymore to help lead that defense. The other aspect to the AFC West is the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's a team that can't run the football. That's a team that's offensive line, and Randy, you well know this. You have a great running back, but you don't have an offensive line. He's not going to do anything.
The best power back in the NFL, and he can't get more than 2 yards down the field.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
The Brody-Croyle era is not starting just yet, but it may be starting pretty soon.
Yeah, pretty soon, depending how far they fall here as this season
There's
goes
a scary
on.
thought.
Well, there's plenty more to come in the end zone. Stick around. CBSSports.com, always on demand, and, of course, on your TiVo DVR via TiVo Cast. We've got one more with Randy and plenty more to come here as you can watch the end zone if you're listening.